in order to be a director, I had to have money. The only way I could get money was by selling parts to my friends. And then I sold parts. And the guy who gave me $200 got the lead role.
My first ever job in the film industry was on this movie Chuck and Buck, being Miguel's assistant, and that movie was made for $200,000, and it was kind of this revelation of like, wow, you can't just make something similar to you're feeling like, wow, they just had video cameras and they just went and made it, and that kind of informed everything I did from that point on. And
I think it is the best job in the world. You know, I remember reading a quote. I could be mistaken, but I believe it was Ron Howard who said it's the best job in the world, but then maybe it was Penny Marshall who said, no, it's the worst job in the world. Sometimes it can be both.
No, it's the best even when it's the worst.
Yeah.
I've never shot a lot on film personally, and I was like, oh, I might as well shoot on film before nobody shoots on film anymore. I can say that I did it and see, for 100 years, this is how movies were made.
I don't think there's any difference between an independent and a studio film in terms of the production. I found studios just leave you alone because they know that nobody knows anything, and but they also know that the audience knows everything. So if you score low, they're over you like a rash. You've got measles and then something.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, while testing's helpful as a reference point, and there's nothing better than playing a movie for an audience, again, to hear, especially with a comedy where the laughs are, at the end of the day, you got to just, trust your gut and make the changes that you think are the best for the film. And as the filmmaker, you know the movie better than anyone else.
I yelled action. We did the long steady cam take. Jake sat up on the cliff and the sunrise was perfect. And then I was so nervous, instead of yelling cut, I yelled action a second time.
Yeah, it's Josh Brolin, Ryan Gosling, and Sean Penn. And I've made 2 action comedies with a lot of poo-poo and pee-pee jokes in it. And so for me now to go and be dealing with these, relatively significant actors.
I've talked to people, I talked to Tony Scott, and I'm like, Tony, does it get easier? And he's like, no. I guess, Philip, that's a question for you, does it get better?
Yeah, it gets better because you appreciate the privilege you have of making a film more and more as you get older. Yeah, it gets better. Always.
All right.
It's like
That's great.